Picture this, it's 2008 and you're sitting at your desk playing a game called Guild Wars, having a blast with some of your friends. You've invested a good chunk of time into it and think to yourself, man, I hope they make a sequel to this game. And then 4 years later, they do, but you never actually get around to playing it. For whatever reason, life, school, jobs, other hobbies, it kept you from trying it out. That was me. Well, here we are in 2024, and I'm happy to say I finally decided to stop putting it off and give the game a try. Real quick, I just want to say thank you to all those who have already subscribed and are supporting the channel. If you enjoy the video, I know it may not seem like much, but it would mean a lot to me if you take the time to click on the subscribe button to join our community and support the channel. Guild Wars 2, an MMORPG set in the fantasy world of Tyria, developed by ArenaNet and published by NC Soft. It was originally released in 2012 and just recently celebrated its 12th year anniversary. Throughout its lifespan, it has been actively receiving live updates as well as numerous different expansions, all the while maintaining a fiercely loyal community with healthy population numbers. As I previously mentioned, it's the sequel to the original Guild Wars, which people still play to this day, I might add. But in many ways, for better or for worse, it feels like a totally separate game. So what is it about Guild Wars 2 that has captured the hearts of so many MMO enthusiasts? And why do most people speak so highly about this game? That's what I'm here to find out. I'm going to dive into the game as a new player in 2024, give you my honest review, and see if Guild Wars 2 might be just the game you're looking for. Starting off with character creation, there are 5 different races. The game provides us with a short description and backstory for each of them, and based on which race you choose, this will determine one of 5 unique starting areas. I really like how there is a totally separate interface for choosing your race. Oftentimes, MMOs bundle race and class together, leading players to feel a bit overwhelmed with all the choices. But this allows me to take my time and read through each of the different race options before moving on to my next big decision. I also have to point out that I love the creative nature of this graphic art style. There's something about the brushstroke textures and dynamic colors that feel somewhat abstract while still maintaining a sense of realism. I decided to go with a human since that was the original race from Guild Wars 1. There are 9 different professions, as it's called, 8 of them being free to play, ranging from your standard warrior and ranger to more unique picks such as the revenant or mesmer. Each profession provides players with a complexity rating, ranged or melee, and a summary of its role and method for combat. They've done a phenomenal job in keeping the interface simple while also giving enough detail for new players to make a well-informed decision. Of course, I have to go with the mesmer. In what other MMO can you play as a magical trickster, driving your enemies absolutely mad as you drain their health bar? Sounds like fun to me. I'll be honest, the customization is limited compared to other MMOs. You won't be writing home about it, but it doesn't really bother me seeing as I'm not a huge character customization fanatic. Let's see. Yeah, that looks like a charming young illusionist, and oh cool, beyond the generic racial backstory, you can actually choose some specific details for your character's story. It's kind of like starting a new D&D campaign. That's a nice touch by the devs, I like that. Now let's see if my name is available. Of course not. Repeat the strategy, add an X, and we're good to go. We get to watch an introductory cutscene with that beautiful graphic art style. Man, I just really like how it looks. We're told that humans once ruled Tyria, but now we've been driven back by something. Didn't really specify. But hey, that's pretty cool. It includes within the intro cutscene some of my backstory choices from character creation. I'm spawned into a village named Shaymore, currently being attacked by a raid of centaurs. Rain is pouring down, suspenseful music is playing, damsels in distress can be heard in the background, and our first task is to talk to Corporal Bairn. WASD for movement, zoom in and out with middle mouse button. Oh nice, you can play in both first or third person. And this guy keeps screaming, "We're under attack," whenever I walk forward, so I mess with him a bit because I'm a trickster and that's just what I do. F key to interact with NPCs, and he tells us to head to the inn for protection, and oh nice, there's already other players running around. That's a good sign. Right mouse button to steer your character. I yell, "Last one to the inn is a rotten egg" to this villager girl, and I've arrived. Talk to Sergeant Walters, and I experienced the first of many dialogue cutscenes. All of the main characters, including my own, have voice acting, and my character's voice is quite dashing if I do say so myself. But no, seriously, the voice acting in Guild Wars 2 is top notch, and the dialogue cutscenes make this story feel more personal for the player. I head towards the garrison since it's in need of reinforcements, and I'm able to navigate there with the help of the minimap as well as the quest navigator in the top right corner. As I cross the bridge, I'm tasked with fending off some centaur attackers, and in my opinion, this was a poor introduction to combat. First, we're never taught how to attack, which is kind of crazy. I'm right-clicking, left-clicking, pressing the 1 key, trying to initiate some form of attack. On top of that, the other players around me are killing the mobs before I can even get to them. Now, I'm not an MMO developer, but you'd think they would have included some form of instruction for new players to teach them how basic combat works, and maybe do it in an instance where the player can figure it out without other people intervening. Of course, I got it figured out and I'm already committed to playing the game, so it's not a big deal. But for someone that was unsure about the game to begin with, that might be a moment where they say screw it and exit the game. We defend the garrison from the centaur attackers and take down this big earth elemental hand thing. I don't get any explanation as to what just happened or why it happened. It just felt a bit disconnected. I'm knocked unconscious for 3 days, and when I wake up, I'm told a couple of my friends came to visit me. When I ask the priestess what I should do now, she basically says, I don't know, maybe go help some people? Which, I mean, that's pretty generic, but alright. It would have been cool if my friends were the ones there to speak with me when I woke up. As of now, I still don't feel any real connection to the story or characters. I receive a wooden rod for my Valiant Act, reach level 2, unlock our next ability slot, and learn about the character adventure guide, a tool that displays additional objectives while leveling, and oh, there are a lot of additional objectives to be completed. Let's just put that aside for now. In the top right corner, I'm instructed to speak to this scout. He pulls up the map and explains that after the centaur attack, many citizens are trying to rebuild their lives and they need our help. He then reveals some renowned hearts in the area, which is basically Guild Wars 2's side quest system. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. Whenever you enter the proximity of these hearts, it means someone is in need of your help. There will be a variety of nearby tasks that pop up, and as you carry them out, the completion bar slowly fills up until it's full. Once that happens, the player receives some XP and rewards. There's no need to talk to or return to the person in need of help because you'll receive the rewards automatically, which is convenient. However, in my opinion, removing that interaction between the player and the person in need left me feeling disconnected from the why behind what I was doing. The renowned hearts became something to complete as quickly as possible for the XP and rewards rather than actually helping the person in need and feeling immersed in the world. It's a shame because I think the devs were onto something here. I like the concept, but it just fell short of the full execution. I also learned about waypoints, the fast travel system in Guild Wars 2, which we'll come back to later. Off I go to help Dia tend her farm, and oh wow, not exactly the person I would expect to find on a farm, but hey, I doubt many players are complaining. I kill some worms, sprinkle her corn with some magic grow, get your mind out of the gutter, do a little jig to get the cows going, and there you have it, our first completed renowned heart. Now, from the moment my character spawned, there were some wiggling symbols in the bottom right corner, so I finally decided to see what they were about, and oh yes, advertising some of the expansions that are available for new players. Nice. There are a lot of them, and I'm not the guy to ask whether they're worth it or not. For now, we're just gonna stick with the free-to-play version. While I'm busy with that, something very important happens. New event nearby pops onto my screen, and I have my first experience with Guild Wars 2's dynamic event system, one of the standout features of this MMO. While players adventure throughout the lands of Tyria, these dynamic events occur spontaneously, giving players the sense that they're part of a living and responsive world, and they can range from small skirmishes to large-scale battles, escort missions to environmental challenges. In this case, I'm charged with protecting the farm from a league of bandits. One of the huge advantages to this system is the promotion of organic group cooperation, a rare commodity, I'm afraid. Most people these days choose to play solo as they quest and level through an MMO. But in Guild Wars 2, when an event pops up on the map, many players drop what they're doing to participate. And oftentimes, these dynamic events require more than one person to actually complete the objective. This is my favorite aspect of Guild Wars 2 thus far, and I'd love to see other MMOs adopt this format of dynamic questing. Very nicely done. Similar to Renowned Hearts, you automatically receive your reward once it's completed, and oh boy, it would appear I should have been clicking on these wiggling diamond emblems after each level. Let's try to sum it all up real quick. We're shown how to access the hero panel by pressing H, which displays our character, our current gear, as well as equipable items and our player stats. As much as I love the creepy clown mask, I don't think I'll be charming anyone looking like that. So I'm happy to discover you can hide your character's headgear. Ah yes, much better. I learn about players' stats, receive some karma from helping Dia, a type of reward currency that can be exchanged for special items at specific vendors, take a look at my inventory, open up some gear upgrades, we're taught how to queue up for some PvP action, maybe later, unlock weapon skill 3, and receive a pop-up about the banking system in Guild Wars 2. One of my favorite things about it is that you can directly deposit crafting materials straight from your inventory to the bank. That is some very nice quality of life right there. Now after every level, the devs give you a little heads up of rewards that you'll receive in the upcoming levels, which definitely gives players some incentive to continue playing. Now that we have that out of the way, on with our adventure. I wave goodbye to Farmer Dia, and you're kidding me. This is the rancher? Apparently, all the farmers in Tyria are young, attractive women. Is there an agriculture guild or something I can join? I help Cassie around the ranch, take down some bandits, and oh nice, there's a dodge mechanic in Guild Wars 2. I'm a sucker for a good dodge roll. Activate it by pressing V or double tapping a movement key. Each dodge drains some of your endurance, and as of right now, I have enough endurance to dodge twice back to back. Alright, let's see. Assist Farmer Ada with her orchard. Let me guess. Yep, she's gorgeous. Come on, ArenaNet. Am I supposed to believe that all the farmers around here are just young, beautiful women? Just give me one classic middle-aged or elderly farmer with suspenders and a straw hat. I kill some spiders for her, reach level 6, unlock the offhand weapon slot as well as my 4th weapon skill, and oh, I get a raptor mount at level 10. Looking forward to that. After I complete the orchard quest, I set out to help Fisher Travis. I want to note that I've heard many people speak negatively about the graphics in Guild Wars 2, but I completely disagree. I think the graphics and the world design are beautiful. Just check out this meadow. A golden hue rises from the grass with scenic cliffs and a blue sky in the background. I love the art style. It's probably one of my favorite things about the game, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, Fisher Travis is kinda jacked. Now Guild Wars 2 is very much so a theme park MMO with some sandbox elements sprinkled in. After the short intro, I was dropped into the world and the priestess told me maybe go help some people, which basically means run around and do whatever you want. And I'm not sure if you've picked up on it yet, but we haven't even gotten to the main storyline for my character because it's locked until level 10. Another indicator that the devs really want to encourage new players to just run around and have some fun. Let's go ahead and fast forward through the next few levels. They can basically be summed up with I ran around, killed some things, helped some people, and completed quests or events along the way. I will point out that the escort tasks are by far my least favorite event in the game so far. Right, so I reach level 10, unlock the personal story and weapon swapping, so you're not restricted to just one weapon at a time, that's nice. And of course, the raptor mount. Oh, but there is a catch. Mounts are only available for expansion upgraded accounts, which kinda sucks, but don't fret. They do give free-to-play players a taste of the mount system with a 10-hour free trial, and it's a smart move. They know that after having the experience of riding around on this raptor, there is no way a new player will want to regress back to walking on foot. And here's why. Because the mount system in Guild Wars 2 is phenomenal. When you press X, the mount appears instantly. You can mount while on the run, the movement is smooth and fluid, the sound of the raptor's footsteps is perfect, the unique jumping ability feels great, especially when you need to clear large gaps in the terrain. It even comes to a sliding stop, giving the player that feeling of speed and momentum while riding. I've yet to try any of the other mounts, but I've heard a lot of positive things about the mounts in Guild Wars 2, and I'm happy to say that the stories are all true. Right, so I've unlocked the personal story and I'm told to visit someone named Petra. Let's make our way towards the quest marker. I entered Divinity's Reach and oh my word, this city is absolutely stunning. It's hard for me to even grasp the scale of it. It's huge. There's even portals that act as elevators for the different levels of the city, and I'm totally captivated by the design. It reflects a blend of medieval and Renaissance styles with tall spires, domed rooftops, intricate stonework. There are plants and flowers suspended from the rooftops and balconies, NPCs walking around. The streets feel alive with merchants calling out their wares, children playing, musicians performing. It really is a sight to behold. I make my way to the Merchant's Coin Tavern and meet up with Petra. Apparently, we're lifelong friends. In the middle of our convo, a bully named big-nosed Ted butts in and treats her rather rudely. Now, I might be a deceptive trickster, but I won't stand by while someone disrespects one of my best friends. So ensues a bar fight of epic proportions. Now that we've unlocked more of our skills and are a bit more acquainted with it, let's talk about the combat in Guild Wars 2. Overall, I like it. It's fast-paced, engaging, and mobile, and I appreciate that I've slowly been adding abilities as I progress. But there are a couple things I don't like. First, this wand noise was kinda cool at first, but after hearing it on repeat for the 1000th time, it's insanely annoying. Second, they pretty much abandoned the skill system that was such a huge staple of the original Guild Wars franchise. I hate that the first 5 skills are locked to your weapon. In the original, players had 8 slots and they could freely choose from hundreds of different skills to create a unique custom build for whatever playstyle they prefer. Yes, you can customize some of the skills in Guild Wars 2, but not like you could in Guild Wars, which was probably one of my favorite things about the game. So for me personally, this is a huge letdown. I don't think there was anything wrong with the original skill system, and you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I take down the ruffians, return downstairs, and the dialogue cutscene is bugged, so I'm missing a piece of the story. All I know is that my next task is to obtain some medicine from Lieutenant Francis. I get some rewards, reach level 11, gain another profession skill, unlock our utility skill slot, and learn about hero points. These can be used to train your character and unlock new abilities the further you progress. There's something about the display that didn't click with me. I think it's that you unlock things on the path of a circle. It's probably just me, but something about it felt off. I talked to the lieutenant and he tells us that the medical supplies have been stolen by a group of bandits. I make my way to their hideout and Petra shows up, insisting that I let her tag along. I agree, but on one condition, that we get married and run away together. She tells me that's absurd because I'm like a brother to her. Ouch, friend zoned. That one hurts. I take out all my pain from the rejection on these bandits, and look who we have here. Twitchy Jake from the bar fight. Make light work of him. He begs for mercy, so I grant it, find the stolen medical supplies, and then Jake comes back for more. You should have stayed down. I return to the tavern and oh, the medical supplies are for Petra's father. Apparently he was injured in the bar fight. I talk to the captain, meet Countess Anise, and they come to the conclusion there is a traitor in our midst that has been secretly working with these bandits. We'll need to infiltrate their camp with a disguise to get some inside information. I start heading towards their cave headquarters in the southeast, but I get distracted by some of these gravestones. He died the way he lived, uselessly. And my favorite, he thought he could outrun a centaur. I'll be honest, these gave me a good laugh. Of course, there were some genuine ones as well, but I love that the devs put these little Easter eggs into the game to reward players for exploring and being extra curious. I reach the cave, kill one of the bandits, steal his clothes for a disguise, infiltrate the hideout, reach level 13, get the info we need, and return to Captain Thackeray. I have some very important information to relay about a planned attack on the city, but first, I use my charm and flatter Anise a bit, just to make Petra jealous. Turns out there are not one, but 2 planned attacks, one on the orphanage and another on the hospital. The captain has plans to save both, but I only get to help defend one of the sites. I think most people's knee-jerk reaction would be to save the children, but I am not most people, so I go with the hospital. When I arrive, it's already under attack by the gang of bandits. We intervene, stop the attack, and oh yeah, of course, these are the patients. Just your classic, everyday, supermodel hospital patients. Probably farmers too. Now that the hospital's saved, let's head over to the orphanage to check how things are going with the— oh my gosh, the children died. That's actually so sad. As much as I hate that, I'm impressed that your choices in the game actually have an impact on the world around you. It makes for a much more compelling story. Well, hey, at least we saved those patients. Following these unfortunate events, Captain Thackeray suspects that Commander Sarentine is the traitor. But there's not enough evidence, so we hatch up a plan to catch her in the act. Anise disguises us as some of the bandits, and we pretend to be captured in one of the cells. Sure enough, she shows up to break us free. We spring the trap, kill off her guards, and finish her off, which brings us to the end of the first part of the main story. I'm kind of bummed it was so short, but I know that there's more to come once I reach level 20. Now, I'm not going to say it's award-winning storytelling, but for the most part, I enjoyed the narrative and now feel a bit more connected to the world and some of its characters. With the first part of the story done, I need to find something to do for the next 5 levels. So I make the decision to do what I would say is the bread and butter of Guild Wars 2, and that is explore. In my opinion, this truly is where the game shines. There are so many things and places to discover throughout the lands of Tyria, and that's the beauty of it. You don't have to do any one thing. You can do whatever you'd like. If you want to simply 100% the objectives in each region, you can do that. If you want to grind out monsters, you can do that. If you want to level up simply by discovering everything and completing dynamic events along the way, you're free to go and do it. I truly think Guild Wars 2 was made for explorers. It was made for players that enjoy creating their own goals and purpose within the world. So if that sounds like you should definitely give the game a try. Of course, it has strengths in other areas, but the exploration truly sets it apart from other MMOs. And I believe that this is ultimately what has given it so much success throughout its lifespan. Now, of course, there is so much more to uncover. I barely scratched the surface of this game, but this video isn't meant to be an all-expansive guide, rather the vantage point of a brand new player in 2024. I have continued to play the game. I experienced my first level 80 world boss, learned about underwater combat, which is very well done, played through the second part of the story, and had some more fun exploring the lands of Tyria. If people are interested in seeing more of my experience in Guild Wars 2, I'll be happy to make some follow-up videos, but it's up in the air at this point, seeing as I'd probably want to invest some actual money into the game to get some mounts and at least a couple of the expansions. Well, that's going to wrap things up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for future content. Hope you have a splendid rest of the day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.